Hey everybody, Concrete Arcanum is officially at 50%, and the 50% comic bonus bundle is off the table, but the 75 and 100% bundles are still up for grabs to anyone who backs before we get funded. And it is just so great that we have gotten this far on this project. People have reached out to me personally to tell me how excited they are, and I'm utterly grateful that so many people have turned out for the campaign already, and I just want to thank each and every person who has backed this far and got us to where we are. And so I'm going to. That's right. It's the thank you shout out video. So if you back this far, you get a shout out. Thank you to JL Johnson Jr. Thank you to Jack Holder. Thank you, John Auerbach. And by the way, I'm going to apologize in advance for any mispronunciations of names. And also, I'm in the interest of privacy, I'm obviously going to be using screen names. So thank you also to Suriel. Thank you to Mark Kaplan. Thank you to Krinsky. Thank you to Laura Meyer, Dave L, Eric K. Thank you. M. Sorcier. Is that French for sorcerer? I hope so. Thank you, Robert Kirsch. Thank you, Matt Kund. Thank you to Dino Groba, Aces of Death. Thank you. Thank you, John Vestrom. Thank you, Andrew Kaplan, Jasmine Wittig, Joel Rodriguez of Metal Ninja Studio. Thanks so much. I know it was only $1, but but it's all good. Thank you to Ted Brown, but thank you, Alex Holm. You know what? The Creative Fund by Backer Kit, you back every campaign. And I see what you're up to, but you know what? Thanks anyway. Let's see. Jeffrey Collins, John Garrett, Melissa J. Massey. Thank you, Patrick Lewandowski. Thank you, Jonathan. Very mysterious, Mr. Jonathan. Thank you to G. Mark C. Thank you to Ken W. Thank you to Roger Stone. Hopefully not that Roger Stone. I hope you... If you're that Roger Stone, I hope you have better things to do right now. Thank you to Janice Marquardt. Thank you to LK Ingino. Thank you, Casey Sargent. Thank you, Carver Rapp. Thank you, Todd Good. Thank you, Julio Capa. I at least know how to pronounce Julio. Thank you, Abby. Thank you to Summer Dietzel. Thank you to Dalibor Jehovich. Sorry. Thank you to the White Bearded Geek. Thank you, Chris Brimage. Thank you to Lawrence Lane. Changing the page. Rolling over. Thank you to Giovi. Thank you, Ellen Power. Thank you, Richard Parker. Thank you, Sominex. I love your products. You help me get to sleep at night. Thank you, Jeff Lee. Thank you, Jerome Scott. Thank you, David Chamberlain, John Averett, Dwayne Warnecki. Thanks to Big Tim Styles from Down Under. Thank you to Murden Starfari. Thank you, Aaron Casey. Thank you, Craig Hackle, Lexia Velez, Chris Call. Thank you, Ezekiel Jong Han Azib. Thank you very much. I appreciate talking to you. I really do. Thank you to Jake Lightman. Thank you to Michael Feldhausen. Thank you, Travis Gidd. Thank you to S.J. Malarkey. Thank you to Mr. Cynical. It'll get better, Mr. Cynical. Don't worry. Thank you to Tom M. Thank you to Nicholas Stevenson. Thank you to Michael Sandlin. Thank you, Nina Serda. Thank you, Maxfield Kuman. Thank you to Susan E. Wilson, Greg Schwartz, Craig Polliner, Joshua Gerdes, Brendan Mudd, M.W. Thank you, M.W. Thank you to Philip Michael Murray. Thank you to Andrew D. Thank you to Richard Foster, Andrew Fox, and Kendall PB. Thanks, Joshua Quick. Thanks, Jeff Eppenbach. Thank you, Francesco Terrani. Thank you to John O. Thank you, Joachim Verhagen. Thank you, Lucas Winia, Scantron TB, Scantron TB. Thank you to CJ Urschel. We'll go with that. CJ Urschel. Sorry, again, pronunciations. Thank you to Emily Gilliam. Thank you, Nick Gamber. Thank you to Gina Siebert. Thank you, Phil Lockler. Thank you, Noah Cray, not Nora Cray. What's that? Let's say, if your name is Nora Cray, I think you should, be able to play acoustic guitar. Thank you to Owen B., Rafael Pena, Jill Milan, Linnea Lindstrom. Thank you, Lynette Scott. Thank you, John Sherfe. Thank you to David Blake for being backer number 100. Way to go. Way to time that. Thanks to Warren. Thanks to Shimon Tanoyan. Thanks to John Eddingfield II. Thanks to Shadow Cthulhu, Cat Fleming, the Mad Catter. Thank you to Jonathan Wilson, Clickaceedle. Clicky. I do want to know how to pronounce some of these names because they're very interesting. Thank you to Philip Wong. Thanks to Jennifer. Thanks to Eric P. Kerniawan. Thanks to Rachel Doherty. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Scott M. Neves. The Knave of Scots, perhaps. Thank you to Mikey Tannemouth. Thank you to Gabby Mim, Cortland Lavalley. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Andrew Jenke. Thank you to Andrea Johnson. Andrea Johnson. Thank you to Colleen Villasenor. That's an awesome name. Let's see. You belong on the Riders of Rohan, Miss Villasenor. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, you, Jack. Thank you, Ross O'Neill, Jeff Lewis, Stephen Roth. Thank you, Wendy Emlinger. Thank you, Broken Mirror. Thank you, Brennan M. Mellon. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Matthias Ackerl. Thanks, John Holt. Thank you, Alex Harasitis. Thank you, Eric Williamson. Thank you to Mark Williamson. Any relation? Thank you to Laurent de Fresne. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Anthony Lamberti. Thank you, Isaac Will It Work, Danzinger. Thanks, Thomas Zeman. Thank you, Coleman. Thank you, Jeremy Sparks, Jay Lofsted, Brian Tumbleston. We're almost there. Home stretch. Thank you to Ben Zumwalt. Thank you. Thanks, some guy. Thank you, Liam. Thank you, Chris Cirillo. Thank you. Oh boy. The accents always get me. Thank you to Kovacs Robert Danielle. Thank you, Dominic. Thank you, Darren Pepper. Thank you, AJ the Ronin. Ooh. Thank you, Beth Lear. Beth Lear Vanderyacht. That is a fancy sounding name you got there. Thank you, Daniel Martinez. Thank you, Ty Brown, Marvin Cayo, Bridget M. Findley, Julie C. Tamarkin, and Joseph Tamarkin. Thank you to Christopher Stillwell. Thank you, Sonic NY. Thank you to Kurt Zauer. Thank you to Michael Blitz, Rebecca Cobbler, the Unknown Shadow. Ooh, also very mysterious. Thank you to Adam K. Berkman. Thank you, Jake Schroeder. Thank you, Michael Ryder. Thank you, Caleb Swenson and Isaac Coffey. Thank you, Sarah Cook. Thank you, Jalmara Reyes. Thank you, Ruth Dillon. Thank you, Eric Cluck. Thanks, Ed. Thank you to the hooded undead being that may or may not haunt my nightmares. Thank you to Dennis Robinson. Thank you to William T. Fee. Thank you to Andrew Gilda, Trent Wilkinson. Thanks, Mihai. Thanks, Ty Kendall. Thanks, David Chuhey. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Camille M. Abdullah. Thank you to Samuel Carson. Julie, thank you. Thank you, Julie. Thank you to Gerald P. McDaniel, Richard Novak, Ian Swift, Mary Guyton, Joey Papan, and thank you to Patrick Kellner, and thank you to Chris Banzer. You guys are all 100% awesome. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you happen to be in the exotic Fargo, North Dakota area this weekend, I'll be slinging books at ValleyCon and spreading the Concrete Arcanum gospel. Stop by and say hi for an in-person thank you, fist bumps, and maybe even some meaningful eye contact. Like that. You know, you could get that in like person and stuff. It's pretty good. But if you can't make it, myself and some of the other Concrete Arcanum folks are going to be on the Explain Yourself live stream this Friday, starting at 10 p.m. U.S. Central Time. And you could actually like see our faces and the faces of some of the other people who are involved. You could ask us questions and, you know, get a feel for the human beings who are behind your favorite stories. And if I hope I see you there, and if I don't, please be good, but not too good.